What is up, YouTube? My Cowboys family here, bringing you guys the latest update on our very own Dallas Cowboys. And of course, as always, thank you so much for joining us here tonight. Take a second to hit like, subscribe, hit that notification bell, follow us on all social media at My Cowboys Family, and of course, hop in the Discord. The link for that's in the description box down below. And of course, as we get rolling here, guys, I appreciate everyone here chilling, hanging with us. I do apologize. I'm still a little bit under the weather, so if I sound a little weird, I have to take a little extra break. You know, just trying not to sneeze on stream. But we have to shout out the people who help make MCF happen here on the daily and the nightly. An extra special shout out to Jason Renfro,
the sponsor of the week.
And not just the sponsor of the week, he is also the membership gifting king.
Much love. One of the best ways of dropping the love here. So Jason Renfro, the gifting king, sponsor of the week. That's half the board. The other half, well, Mark Hovsepian, 62 points, still repping it right there on the stream boss. And Stanley Smith as the Cash App king of the week. He took it down last week after a big battle, a 2-week battle. Much love to Stanley Smith. He's got that crown. Now, what's the changes going on in the background this time around? Well, first off, had a couple drops here, pre-stream stuff, like some membership re-ups with NDN Boogie. He's back in that navy blue crew. You see him in the chat there with the membership. You see Marissa Sparkle. She's back again. It's her re-up on that star level membership. So Marissa Sparkle, much love to you. She's star leveling it. Yeah, Jason Renfro dropping a $2 combined in the Cash App. Gloria dropping 18 in the Cash App. Dwayne Broussard with the whoa. We got ourselves NDN Boogie dropping a little bit of a message here. And same thing with Captain DCW. Both these guys are members in that navy blue crew. What did they say,
you gotta flex
baby?
your membership message, right? NDN Boogie said thanks for the love. Go Cowboys and get well soon.
Yeah, baby. Yes, she's up there. She's getting better and better every day. But yeah, still a little under the weather. Much love, NDN Boogie.
I think I finally turned the corner. Yeah. So fingers crossed by Friday I'm back to closer to 100, right? Captain DCW, thank you. 24 months in the membership, saying go Broncos from 1 to 5 to 7-6. Woo, and also go Cowboys.
We'll overlook the go Broncos because, you know, I'll say good job for the Broncos bouncing back. But always go Cowboys, right? Captain always. DCW. I know his team. I know. Hey, listen, we got fans from all over the NFL. Appreciate both you guys dropping your membership comments, your monthly comments. Free, big comments you get to drop if you're in the membership at any level.
Membership perks.
Yep. So, again, NDN Boogie, Marissa Sparkle, much love to them in the membership. Jason Renfro dropping a couple in the Cash App. Gloria, who, by the way, I wanted to say, dropping the 18 in the Cash App, that makes her the actual current leader right now in the Cash App. Gloria with 18, Cash App leader jumping IB Thunder. and others like Jason Renfro as well. So battle continues there. Dwayne Broussard, like I said, pre-stream $2 holler. What did the man say?
He said,
I think he had a Dak quote.
Here we go.
Here we go. Much love, Dwayne Broussard, DB, the top dog. And, of course, A. Lavelle dropping a $10 holler, who, by the way, with that drop, in Marissa Sparkle's membership there, it's a three-way top of the rocks, top of the rock tie right there, three-way tie between Marissa Sparkle, Bootzilla, who's, by the way, also currently leading the membership gifting side of things this week so far, and in first place also Mr. A. Lavelle, silver level extraordinaire. What did he have to say with that $10 holler?
What's up, MCF and MCW? What's good, everyone in the chat? How we feeling today? Hope you're all doing well. Let's beat the Bills. And don't listen to that bum quarterback who dresses like a 5-year-old.
Oh, we're going to bring up Mr. Cam Newton there, talking about a little trash about Dak. We'll discuss it all here at MCF. Don't worry. I got you, Lavelle. We don't listen to
Cowboys.
him. We laugh at Cam Newton.
Thank you, Mr. Lavelle. But yeah,
Some interesting words today said. Now, again, everybody shouted out, of course, on all levels here on all the boards. Appreciate everybody here as we continue, tallying everything for the week to see who captures some of these top spots on the board. But, baby, outside of the super chats you just saw dropped or gifted memberships, jumping in the membership or the thanks button after a video post or a live stream post, there's four other ways to drop the love. And all these 4 ways are specifically not just for the overall board, which is everything is counted on the overall board, but this is specifically also for the Cash App crown the Stanley Smith has control of, and right now Gloria's in first place. How are some ways you can drop the love? Because Gloria did it to the PayPal. She's in the Cash App, though,
yeah,
right?
But you have the Cash App, of course, money sign MyCowboysFamily, the Venmo at My-Cowboys-Family, the regular PayPal link, and last but not least, the Streamlabs link, which lets your comment show up on screen just like a super chat.
Yeah, I should have reiterated the fact that we basically had everything covered here when it comes to the drops of love, whether it's PayPal, Cash App, gifted membership, jumping in on your own, the super chat, and the thanks button also dropped by Skeptical Fan. He said 27-17 beating the Bills this weekend. That's his prediction with the $2 thanks holler. Big thanks to Skeptical Fan as well. All of this added on to the totals here on My Cowboys Family. And with that drop, by the way, Skeptical, I have to actually fix that. He just jumped into fourth place there, jumping over Gloria by 1 on the overall board. So yes, much love to Skeptical Fan with the thanks drop as well. That covers all the drops. It covers almost all the shout-outs. Of course, on the nightly, we got to do the star level shout-outs.
You know it.
And every night we do this because you guys in the star or over everything level, you guys, dropping the love here in a big way on the monthly. So we give back on the nightly here when it comes to showing you guys are the representatives, the sponsors of this channel. All you guys, baby, who are the star level and over everything level members.
Huge shout out to Skeptical Fan, Jason Renfro, Lincoln Kane, Mary Alvarez, Andy Potched, Marissa Sparkle, Dwayne Broussard, and The Lunatic.
Yeah, and all these people you just heard, and anybody else who, if you don't drop out of it, if you jump into it, you get added to the list here. And this weekend, the star and over everything level membership, once a month we do it. If you want to try to have a chance to win one of these sewn and stitched jerseys, your choice. Which player? There's a lot of them, 40 players, a lot of different styles and eras and old school, new school. A lot of players to pick from. Cowboys Mosh. You see us wearing these jerseys all the time. You get your own star level winning jersey here, and a lot of choices to pick from, old school or new. So again, star level membership done this weekend. Yeah, Saturday night, Sunday during the game, we'll have a star level, or again, there's no over everything level person right now in there. We'll have at the very least a star level champion winning one of these jerseys. So much love to everybody in the house, and good luck to all. And speaking of in the house, who's in the house right now, baby? In the chat,
we have Real Shit. Cracking jokes.
F the Squealers. They suck.
Good one.
They're almost out of the playoffs.
Let me see. We have Rolando Rodriguez in the house. What's up? James Herr, much love. Captain DCW, take it easy. Thanks for saying hello and hi. Have a good one.
DCW.
Q Ball in the house. Indian Boogie, what's up? He's been sick for 5 days. I know I saw Bruce got the toxic juice earlier. He's still getting over the flu.
The toxic flu.
It's actually been a
Everyone's
good
sick
chunk
right
of time since I've been sick like this specifically.
Yeah.
So definitely not for the faint of heart.
Kids are getting sick right now. I'm avoiding it, but I'm knocking on wood that by the time the Bills game comes this weekend, I'm probably the one that's sick. I hope not. We'll see what happens.
So, let me keep rolling here with the shout-outs. Of course, NDM Boogie, Captain DCW. We have Brandon James, what's up? Bruce got the toxic juice. Dwayne Broussard, the top dog himself. You already know. Texas Twister, stay safe out there on the road. We have Jason Renfro in the house. Darren Posey, much love. Who, by the way, Darren also stays safe out there on the road. Doing the college thing with the fam. Yeah, let me see. Mr. A. Lavelle, of course. Mike Aldana, much love in the house. I think Freedom First did manage to be first. So, Asmodeus repping it Memphis style. So, and I think, if I'm not mistaken, that's everybody here so far. As more people trickle in, I'll make sure to give them their proper shout-outs.
All right, let's roll here, guys. NFL news, kicking it off. Coach of the Bears, Matt Eberflus, told reporters that defensive edge rusher Yannick Ngakwe's broken ankle done for the year. That's not that they were going to do anything, but that's a big, a player they put on that squad. They're trying to up the pass rush. They've been doing good on that side of things. Ngakwe is now out for the rest of the year with the broken ankle. Browns, they play safety Grant Delpit on injured reserve today with a groin injury. Again, just a few days after signing a 3-year, $36 million extension. He had an up and down last couple of days, but there is a possibility he returns to the playoffs if the Browns get in there. Now, the Washington Commanders not going to the playoffs, but they made a couple moves interesting. They claimed cornerback Caillou Blue Kelly off of waivers from the Packers and officially released cornerback Danny Johnson. Danny Johnson, actually, kind of a starter for them. They informed him that he was re-signed, by the way, to a 2-year deal that included $2.75 million guaranteed back in March. They informed him today they're releasing him. And, of course, he's going to go through waivers. We'll see if anybody picks him up there. One interesting former Cowboy name, now officially a free agent in the NFL, linebacker Ronaldo McClain. Purple drank guy that got in trouble that way with the scissorp. He was the eighth. It's been a while, but I remember him. He was the 8th overall pick back in the 2010 draft and had his, again, indefinite suspension that he had on him today was lifted by the NFL. So now he's not indefinitely suspended. Now he's back in the NFL officially. Will anybody pick him up after 13 years since he was drafted? He was previously suspended indefinitely, and it spanned from 2016 to 2019. Following a brief reinstatement, he was suspended indefinitely again back in 2019 of December. So now that suspension went from 2019 to 2023. Now that's over. Man, he's been suspended for basically a 3-year period and now a 4-year period in his 13 years in the possible, since he got drafted. That's crazy. But do you guys want McClain back? I think that's an old. That's not. He was great, when he was in the league and he was, doing his thing and early on. But man, I would not risk anything on him. I would not roll the dice on him. But I'm sure there's a team out there that may do that for him. We'll see. Hopefully, the best for him. Rolando McClain there. So we had some NFL actual front office NFL news. When it comes to a couple rule change possibilities and other things, first and foremost, NFL EVP of Football Operations Troy Vincent says that the report of Roger Goodell, having a big-time opposition to the tush push for the Eagles was false. He said the league is monitoring that play and the way it's used, but he said seeing the evolution in the implementation, they've already seen that evolution, they're saying, from when this started at the start of this season. And also this was said about this tush push play, quote, Philly does it better than anyone else, but the sample size is too small to draw a conclusion. But it doesn't seem they want to punish the Eagles for doing something well. So it just seems that the sample size is too small to outlaw a play like this. They don't expect it to be outlawed. And don't outlaw the man. Skeptical fan, he's gifting another membership. One back for a tie right now behind Mr. Bootzilla, who's in first place. What is the Skeptical fan gifting a membership? Who received that wonderful prize?
The man himself, Scorpio.
Hey, deservedly so.
Shout out to you, Scorpio.
Scorpio, part of the crew here on that. So much love to Scorpio. Congrats. And extra special love and shout out to the man saying skeptical. Skeptical fan, who I will update on that board, is jumping over a couple. He might be getting into the first place spot here in a couple of minutes. Appreciate you, Skeptical fan. Much love and go Cowboys. And let me finish. I want to kind of let you guys talk about what your opinion on some of these possible rule changes in the future or now. So
of course.
There's that Philly kind of tush push. They're looking at it, but it doesn't sound like they're going to change that play.
Yeah, and I hate to agree with Mr. Real Shit here, but he said, I don't like the tush push, but it is what it is. Exactly.
You got to learn to stop it. It's up to defensive coordinators to stop
and
this.
You've been saying that since early day one, so definitely have to give you credit there. that one,
wish
just because
I was
a little bit more on the fence, more in the middle, maybe leaning more the other way. But I mean, at this point, yeah, I do have to agree with you, which doesn't make for as fun of a show, but that's how I feel.
It's all about the honesty. That's what it's about. So
exactly. So, like and not just that, but it feels like I hate to say it, but some very poussoir stuff to sit there and complain like, the Eagles are pushing or tush pushing.
Yeah,
it's like either do it yourself, either figure out how to stop it, or do it yourself.
I'm gonna tell you something. The Cowboys figured out how to stop it. Mm-hmm. You know how to stop it? Dan Quinn said it. Don't allow 3rd and 1 or 4th and 1s. And what did the Cowboys do, guys? I'm gonna talk about the way we handled 3rd downs and over 4 and 5 because we blitzed and we saw it and we talked about it during the game. But what was the key? How many tush pushes did they have? 1. Because we allowed a 3rd and 1, a 3rd and short. So we didn't allow any 3rd and short. So that's how you stop the tush push. You just stop them from 3rd and 1. Stop them from 3rd and 2, 4th and 2. You stop them from that, and you don't have to worry about that play. The Cowboys did it. So
once you put them in a situation where they can't just run it in, bam.
Well, I mean, again, if you don't give them a chance to do it, it's kind of like if our defense is rolling and we're up 14 points, how are you going to get past us when you're down 14? You got to be one-dimensional now against our strength. It's the same thing there in that situation. That you push them away from their strength, but not allow them to get into position to go and do that play. So, anyways, that's the way that the NFL is looking at the tush push right now. There's other plays though, baby, like kickoffs. Like we talked about this the other day, how Brandon Aubrey's about to break the all-time kickoff touchback record outside of the 31st kicks he's ever in his career to start off, and other records he's breaking. So Troy Vincent today, the NFL executive Troy Vincent, says kickoffs are basically a quote dead ceremonial play in today's game, with only about a 20% return rate. But he did mention it has been very effective in reducing injuries, and the league is encouraging coaches to propose alternatives to try to make the kick return part of the game a bigger part of things.
Yeah, without, obviously, because let's be real, it's all fine and dandy to turn around and say, like, oh, this is kind of boring, it's lame. But it's prevented quite a bit of injuries. Yeah. So the NFL can't really just say, like, oh, let's just go back to the way things were. Because
again, it was a current 1-year experiment.
I agree.
This rule, we'll have to see if that changes after this year. I think they have to they want to find something in between that.
Yeah, I'm hoping that there is some way to get to some kind of happy balance.
Yeah, and when it comes to issues with, let's say, even penalties, this week, and we heard about that Kansas City game in Buffalo, right? That was, where the referees kind of, I don't know how they're complaining about the refs messing up. There's only one person that messed it up, and that was, unfortunately for them, Kadarius Toney. Darren Posey in the house, officially jumping in the membership on his own on that one, right?
That's right, fully part of that navy blue crew, and guys, welcome him in.
Love
if
back
you got him
into the membership.
Go ahead and drop him.
I know Darren Posey used to be a little bit into that star level, and if he wants that star level, again, end of the week, this weekend we are doing a star level raffle. So Darren Posey might be a lucky winner, or anybody can be if you're in that star level membership, right? Much love, Darren Posey. Much extra special love to him, though. No matter which level you're in, repping it here with us on My Cowboys Family, he's now officially in that navy blue crew.
Ooh.
Thank you. Thank you, Darren. Appreciate you. I'll make that board in a minute.
I want to read this comment here as well by Pioneer saying, the tush push can be stopped if teams are willing to literally fight those Eagle offensive linemen. Parsons punched false start guy in the face. No more tush push after he did that.
Yeah, well, as long as we keep them from 3rd and short. That's it. That's it. They're going to try to do it, and it will probably be successful most of the time doing that tush push if they get to that 3rd and 2, 4th and 2. Well, you don't. You get them a 3rd and 6, 3rd and 5. They ain't doing no tush push. So there's your key on how to stop that. That's pretty much the only definitive way, definite way of stopping with 100% rate.
So, no, just trying to read through some of the comments. So, and all good, Darren. Again, like I said, stay safe out there on the road. Yeah. I know you're on that college grind. So, dropping off his son at college.
Hey, it's coming soon for me here, for my daughter.
Kind of rolling back here. By the way, one of the things that kind of kicked off some of the discussions here in the chat, and I know we haven't gotten to it quite yet, but I'm sure we'll be going back to it at least a handful of times as people trickle in. But man, Cam Newton really out there running his mouth.
Yeah. Yeah, he's a game manager for Dak Prescott. Say what? We'll talk about it.
So, rolling back here. By the way, Chalk to my 10-8 much love. Saying Bills think we're a get-right game because they're at home. Little that they know, Dallas is 22-0 on turf.
22-0.
22-0.
Yes, not a score. It's a record.
True.
So, yeah, I mean, we talked about this the other day when it comes to turf, when it comes to on the road and in grass fields. I literally talked about this the other day. So, yeah, we're hitting those right there with you, man. Much love to Mr. Montana 808. Mark at 59 points. Everybody in the house, appreciate you guys. Hit the like button. Hit subscribe if you're new. Hit that bell and keep screaming, Go Cowboys. Now, again, kickoffs, like I said, kind of slowing down the game, that play itself, kind of boring kind of play, but the NFL wants the coaches encouraging them to propose alternatives to the kicking game. We'll see what they come up with. And then, again, let me get back to that Kansas City-Buffalo game where Kadarius Toney was offsides. They don't want to, the Chiefs are pissed, whatever. Commissioner Roger Goodell kind of gave his opinion today. He said, quote, there was no question about that foul. It was absolutely the correct call, which it was. I mean, even with Mahomes screaming like Kermit the Frog. So, now, NFL also, remember we talked about Brazil being that location for another international game next year? That's what was officially announced today. The NFL approved international game in Sao Paulo, Brazil, at Corinthians Arena for an NFL regular season game in 2024. And also it was announced that there could be as many as 8 international games in 2025. So again,
on one hand, Jerry's probably jumping on his couch like, heck yeah, a bigger market. On the other hand, he's like, I'm not getting up a home game unless you pry it out of my cold, dead
Jerry's
hands.
Jerry's going to tell you what he feels about this. But the NFL also, again, will increase the international games from 4 to 8 beginning in 2025. So get ready for that jump. NFL announced, again, it's going to play a regular season game next year in Sao Paulo, Brazil, the first ever in South America, and it's going to happen this upcoming season, next season, 2024. Assuming that it gets done, the schedule, per the schedule rotation, an NFC team would be the home team for this game. So it's not going to be an AFC team taking a home game away. It's going to be an NFC team getting a home game taken away to go to Brazil. The Cowboys have 9 home games next year in 2024. So the question is, could the Cowboys play their first international game as the home team in their entire lives? They've always played international games, but never as the home team. So that would be the only way the Cowboys get this kickoff in Brazil, let's say. Could the lure of being the first game in South America be tempting for Jerry Jones? Well, Jerry Jones says something about this. But one last thing from the NFL. The owners unanimously approved and awarded Super Bowl 61 to go. Of course, the 61 is going to be in February 2027 for the 2026 season. It's going to be in Los Angeles. So, that's another interesting little thing there. Because you're thinking, when are the Cowboys going to get another Super Bowl in Jerry's world, right? In Jerry World over there in their stadium. Well, Jerry Jones, after this meeting, had some comments to make. And Jerry Jones said that AT&T Stadium, it was in the conversation for this February 2027 Super Bowl. So, LA was of course SoFi Stadium. They won this thing, but one of the finalists was AT&T Stadium. So again, according to Jerry Jones, they went with SoFi Stadium in 2027, and Jerry Jones said that the 2010 weather, and I don't even remember how the weather was for that Super Bowl, and the upper concourse debacle situation, where I think they had overpriced, sold too many tickets and not enough room. But that supposedly, he said, did not affect their chances to win another bid for a Super Bowl to host it. And Jerry Jones said he's not disappointed about AT&T Stadium not getting to host another Super Bowl. He says they're going to try again in the future. He said, quote, it just hasn't fit for us. But I'm proud for the league. Los Angeles is a perfect spot for one, but we'll just look into it into the future. So again, it sounds like after 2028, 2029, 2030, we'll have a Super Bowl in Dallas, in Arlington, no matter what. I mean, even I'm saying even if the Cowboys aren't there, it'll be Jerry Jones' world there. So Jerry Jones did have more things to say, and going the Super Bowl game, you just heard his comment there. Yeah. We're going to get that. We're going to try again in the future. But he also spoke about playing a game in Brazil, and he said he's basically fine with playing a game in Brazil. as long as they don't have to give up a home game, which in this year would be, we have 2024, Cowboys would have to give up a home game. What did Jerry Jones say more specifically in context about this, baby?
If we do give up a home game, I want it to be to play in Mexico. That's our natural synergy and affinity with our fan base. I've got a lot of business in Brazil. I'm one of the largest automobile dealers that there are in Brazil. But I'm not as interested in the Cowboys playing there as opposed to Mexico City. We've got a lot of fans. It might fit right for a lot of clubs. It doesn't fit right for the Cowboys as much. We've got the highest attendance in the NFL. And let me just say this. When we aren't playing here, I want to be in Mexico City. Period.
Yeah, again, Jerry Jones giving his full support to, if we have to lose a home game, we're going to Mexico City. We ain't going to no Brazil. And that's where the fan base of the Cowboys also lie internationally. You know what I'm saying? Of course, we're worldwide. But Mexico would have the biggest amount of fans. So Jerry is staying loyal to the home crowd here, just south of Texas in Mexico. And so that's where we're going to go. I like that from Jerry. I like the fact that he said we got to lose a home game. It's going to be in a big stage where we got our people, our synergy, our fans. And that momentum that we keep that home field kind of advantage, right? And in Brazil, it's going to be a lot of like just NFL fans, and it'll be, of course, Cowboy fans, but it won't be the same as Mexico City. So Jerry ain't dumb. He ain't giving up a game to go to Brazil. He maybe gives up a game, and that's only to go to Mexico, and it comes to a home game. So I don't know. What do you think about that? I mean, I think that's pretty good comment there. From Jerry.
Honestly, it makes sense. And let's be real. One of the reasons that he's like, if we have to play an international game, he wants it to be in Mexico. Because that's basically a home game for us.
Yeah.
And even when you put his maybe personal desires for wanting to have it in Mexico aside, even from a business standpoint, I think it makes more sense to try to get the Cowboys in Mexico somehow.
Yeah, rather than Brazil.
Yeah.
So what about the fact that, he said it didn't fit for him. But you know why it didn't fit for him? Because he's getting in Dallas that World Cup pretty much, in 2026, is it? So 2027 is a quick turnaround, right? You just would have finished the World Cup maybe a couple months earlier. Now we're getting the Super Bowl in Dallas. So I think it's why he passed on it this year. Unanimous. Remember, it went to LA unanimously. So Jerry voted for it too. I think Jerry's making room for a 2028, 2029 bid for the Cowboys. AT&T Stadium to be used for the Super Bowl. So what did Jerry say, though, about the World Cup and trying to host that final game at AT&T Stadium? And again, he was asked if he's confident that AT&T Stadium will be used for this World Cup finale, World Cup final. What did Jerry say?
He said, confident? No, not confident. But if you wanted to show the world, especially the youth of the world, where and what this country looks like and be representative of this country, you'd have it in Dallas, Texas.
Oh, he wants that cash money, but he's also making a good point. You got to see everything's bigger in Texas. And you're seeing an awesome arena there where you're going to have the World Cup final there. That's something he wants, and he wants the world to see, how America can do it up, in Texas, in Dallas. So Jerry Jones wants to lead the way on that. Now, Jerry Jones also spoke on contracts, several contracts. In the very near future here, like
the other day we talked about Dak's, upcoming, negotiations or whatever, where Jerry basically just said like, we'll do it on my timeline when I feel like it. So
yeah, but he knows it's not just Dak. It's also Dak, it's CeeDee Lamb, Micah Parsons, and many others. What did he say about all of these contracts, baby?
You want to have a number of players that could cause you to have a Super Bowl winning team.
That's true.
But you're going to have to fit a square peg in a round hole when the time comes. I'll gladly worry about that. We'll work it when we get there.
Yeah, I'm getting vibes, though, baby. I'm getting vibes of this. The pie. He's already saying.
He's already primed us for some of it.
Yeah, square peg into round hole. Uh-oh, here we go. So, again, trying to make it look like it's going to be tough to sign everybody. CeeDee Lamb, he's up one of these guys up. And, of course, we got, the man Micah Parsons. He's coming up. All these guys got to be signed this offseason. And don't forget, the quarterback of the team, MVP candidate right now, Dak Prescott, who, baby, Jerry Jones also made a mention about him and Dak's fantastic recent play. Has that driven up the price of Dak's contract because of his recent play? What did Jerry Jones say about that when it comes to Dak?
You want to have a number of players that could cause you to have a...
No, wrong one. He actually was speaking about how it drove up the price. Dak Prescott's play. Not the players, not all the players, but the actual play of Dak Prescott.
I'm here like everybody else wanting him to be the MVP. We're trying to win the Super Bowl. Obviously, we've got a better chance to win it with him at quarterback playing at that level. The idea of him not being our quarterback has not crossed my mind.
So, Jerry's all in. Sounds like all in on signing Dak Prescott. Just a matter of when, more than if. I got lost there in the comments there because again, number one thing for Jerry Jones is to win the Super Bowl, of course, but to try to find a way of winning it and paying everybody. He's rolling the dice by paying more money for Dak if we can win the Super Bowl.
He could always get rid of that problem by not being the GM, but, I won't start that discussion now since the clown show has been less clowny recently. So.
Yeah, again, we'll have to see how this goes. Again, Jerry seems to be holding back on these contracts for reasons, square pegs, round holes, but also, expectations of glory holes, glory days with the Cowboys, winning a Super Bowl and paying these guys, whatever it takes because they've earned that ring, right? So Jerry Jones spoke about a lot of different things. He finished it up with this upcoming, got Martin Beckton in the house.
Thank you for subbing it up.
Welcome to the family. But also, I want to go back to what Jerry Jones was saying here, which was basically this Buffalo Bills game on Sunday in Buffalo. Afternoon game. It's going to be chilly. It's going to be a little windy. But, it's going to be manageable for a December game in Buffalo. What did Jerry Jones say about this game, this big game against the Bills?
We need to get out of Buffalo any way we can with a win. We have nothing to prove other than just go up there and try to win that ball game. It speaks for itself. They are a really good team. We got a break. We're not going to be in a blizzard, but that quarterback is very good. I have a lot of respect for what we're up against here. It's arguably right there with the challenge we had last week against Philadelphia. Really, right there. In terms of the quality of the team and being on the road, about the same kind of chips are on the line.
To me, every game from here on out is basically a must-win if you want to have a chance for that second or first seed. Jerry Jones speaking really the truth, but it's got to be done, right? I do believe this is a game in some ways is tougher than Philly. I do believe that. And also in other ways, I believe it's easier than Philly. So I think the Cowboys have a chance to do something similar as we did to Philly, except it's have to be on the road, but on turf. Bills are pretty good at home, too. They're 5-1, and they lost a home game, which was a road game. In London, against Jacksonville. And the other game they lost was at home against Denver on Monday Night Football, which they gave away. So they're solid at home. And we're solid on turf. We're just solid. We're just a more solid team than Buffalo, let's be honest about that. So, again, Jerry Jones is a bit nervous about this game, but he's ready for it if needed. So any quick thoughts there in the chat about any of these things? If it's not, then we just move it on to Mr. Mike McCarthy, because he actually spoke big, important things there about our team and injury updates.
Griff181 said, Dak, CD, and Micah should all be the highest paid players at their positions. No other team would have that. And
again, that's the thing, though. No other team has to pay that either, right? If you're paying the quarterback, the receiver, and who was the other player he mentioned?
Micah?
Yeah, of course, Micah. If you have all three guys paid, that's great. But not many teams can pay the top, in each of these position categories, as number one guys. So there might have to be some fine-tuning and massaging. But the pie is a lie. Trust me. So if the Cowboys want to do it, they can get it done. They waited this year for that reason on CD's contract, on Dak's extension. Now the Cowboys front office has to come through by paying them out. And you lose CeeDee Lamb or Dak Prescott, Micah Parsons. You lose one of these guys. It's like, what the fuck are we doing here anyways? Like, what's the purpose of this football thing if you let any of these three guys go, in my humble opinion? So
Antoine Scott said, we're going to see.
We will.
Hey, I'm glad you're able to come through, especially for this rivalry week.
Yeah, that's right. He is he's Buffalo Mafia there.
Yeah, Burnt Bar, much love. Right, Brandon James was like the pie. Oh, Jerry wants his face all up in that pie.
Yeah, he does.
So, D-Web, what's up? And yeah, that's always been like the NFL has always tried like a handful of times to get something going, but realistically speaking, they basically just rely on college football And obviously the occasional random football league that will, inevitably pop up, disappear, pop up again, and then disappear. We actually have 2 remarkable players from the USFL that are currently contributing to our team, right?
Yeah. I mean, Turpin and Aubrey.
So, you can't really put it past at least our Cowboys looking for talent somewhere outside of just kind of the college sphere. So, but realistically speaking, I just don't see it ever moving in that direction. Right. So, anyway, 6'8", what's up? Much love. Corporate Liaison in the house as well. A skeptical fan said, would we have to pay in pesos to get a seat in Mexico?
Probably.
Yeah. Hey, I'm sure they'll take our dollars, right? Corporate Liaison, much love to you. Thanks for being here. Rolando Rodriguez. Let me see. Sidrak Urzua. Right now, no. Again, our expectation is that the Cowboys are going to just look internally for any defensive tackle moves that need to be made temporarily.
Yeah, we kind of knew what they were going. Brandon James in the house, 6'8", like you said, Montana 808. Let's keep it rolling here. After you guys hit that like button, don't forget to hit that like. Subscribe if you're new. Hit that bell so you know we're going live. And follow us on Discord, on X, all social media at MyCowboysFamily. And as you can see, we're repping that star over everything tonight. Mike McCarthy. All right, let's bring him up real quick when it comes to what he said. Very important stuff today at his press conference. First he talked about the Bills with Jerry Jones. But Mike McCarthy said that Josh Allen is, quote, a dynamic player. The way that he plays the quarterback position, he reminds me of a young Brett Favre in terms of his temperament and his ability to throw the ball, end quote. So again, looking to one of his old guys there, a little chunky Favre there. I don't know if Favre ever ran like Josh Allen can run. He's hard to tackle, Josh Allen. But I kind of see some of the resemblance gunslinger-wise when it comes to a Josh Allen and a Brett Favre. But that's McCarthy's view on Josh Allen. Temperament, the way he plays the position, the way he throws the ball. Now, what about Dak? McCarthy says that Dak probably leads the league in fist bumps this year because Dak's been throwing those fire right now. Now, what about Brandon Aubrey, who's kicking fire? Aubrey, Mike McCarthy said, quote, I love a story, and it's an incredible story, but he's an extremely talented kicker, end quote. So it's not like you hit these great, you see one of these competition shows, reality shows, they have what a great backstory, but they're just not that good of a singer. What McCarthy is saying, great backstory, but fuck that shit. He's a fantastic kicker. So I understand what McCarthy is saying about the story. This guy was working in data input. He was working here. He was a soccer. He's an excellent kicker. That's the product that we got right now. So as far as the progress for the Cowboys, what did McCarthy say when it comes to the team's progress? He said, quote, we're doing a lot of the little things better today than we were doing it in September. And I'm pretty sure I would bet the farm on that's an accurate statement there. Doing the little things better, the details. You're seeing it getting especially ironed out on offense. Love it. Now, injury updates. What's the injury situation? McCarthy did, of course, get asked about Jonathan Hankins, who officially has a high ankle sprain. Important run-stopping force for us. McCarthy said this, quote, he'll be hard-pressed to play this week.
I mean, the fact that there's even a small, even 1% sliver of a chance that he could play this week already means that he's definitely trending in the right direction, right?
Yeah, he's not out for an extended time, but he's going to be out probably this week.
If you're going to expect him here in the Buffalo game doing anything but chilling on the sideline, I have some beachfront property in Kansas to sell you. But the good news is, like I said, is the future outlook, which, again, going back to that comment there by, who was it? Sidrak? There we go. Hopefully I said your name right. Again, why would we go outside of what we already have to bring someone in for what seems like a very short-term injury? Just throwing that out there and reminding everybody.
Again, you hear, we already kind of touched on what the Cowboys' plan is going to be through Dan Quinn, but now we hear from McCarthy, and this is what we weren't not going to get. I talked about Ndamukong Suh when this happened. We should be looking out for something. There's a lot of names out there, but there's 2 names that we're going to stick with, and really, to me, 3 names. So no Hankins, no practice today. That's what McCarthy said. It ended up being, of course, accurate with the high ankle sprain. But what McCarthy did say is that this is, quote, a big opportunity for Mozzie Smith and also Carl Davis Jr., who's a practice squad and former 3rd-round pick. And all this big opportunity, McCarthy said, comes in the event if Hankins cannot play. And honestly, according to McCarthy, it sounds like he's not going to play. So Mozzie Smith's going to get a starting role now. A guy you're going to see, guys, more snaps for rookie Mozzie Smith, which we got to see more from him, right? So he's got to really step up now.
And Jerry already said it. This isn't just any old team, right? This is a team that the game and the caliber of the team is almost right there with the Eagles, at least in Jerry's mind.
Well, I say better, honestly, in a sense. But again, now we got to replace a damn good run stopper. So Mozzie Smith's going to be doing that job. And yes, guys, he talked well about Carl Davis Jr. So did Dan Quinn yesterday. Practice squad pickup from a month and a half ago or so. He will be activated and elevated to the game day roster. Not to the 53-man roster, but he'll be elevated to the game day roster. At least that's where he's trending right now. If he doesn't get put on the 53, he will definitely be active for this game off the practice squad. One of his 3 elevations. Expect that from Carl Davis. It sounds like the Cowboys are going to rely on him as the backup there. I also want to throw in another name that this is not McCarthy. I'm throwing in a name that kind of plays a hybrid 3-tech, 1-tech. That's Neville Gallimore, number 96. He's been doing fantastic at getting, penetration and the run plays and blowing up run plays. Now, can he do it for a whole game, or did he have to switch in there with Mozzie and others? Carl Davis, sure, probably. He's not going to play like Hankins plays, but he needs a little bit from him, a little bit from Mozzie, a little bit from Carl Davis, and hopefully that's enough to pick up the slack that's going to be left there, that hole open, from missing Jonathan Hankins and not helping the linebackers as easily as we had in the past, because Hankins was taking double teams and not letting these guys, these offensive linemen, release to the second level. They keep him a half second delayed, the linebackers making the play. Instead of him getting blocked, him blocking the linebacker's getting right past him because he had to stay an extra half second to Jonathan Hankins. Can Mozzie pull that? He hasn't been able to do that yet. Can Carl Davis Jr. do that? Not sure, but he's practice squad for a reason. So that's where a big kind of a question mark comes in my mind when it comes to how do we stop the run. So McCarthy gave us all the picture here. They had to practice. It was a walkthrough practice. So keep that in mind, guys. Walkthrough means a lot of resting players for the Cowboys. When you look at this,
a lot of watching film as well, going over notes.
But this is on the field stuff here. On Wednesdays on the field, but always in the walkthroughs, especially after a game. And we've been managing things a lot different now in December.
Yes.
Cowboys take a lot of walkthroughs on that first day of practice. Instead of putting the pads on, they're doing walkthroughs. Today was walkthrough day. By the way, during this, before practice, Cowboys did make 2 moves on the roster. Not anything that really made a change, but it's changing. They have opened up the 21-day practice window for 2 injured reserve guys.
Okay.
Remember, we did Matt Willetsko last week. Mm-hmm. This week, we opened it up for rookie, 4th-round pick, defensive lineman, Velemi Fehoko, Junior Fehoko. He's now going to be able to, Junior Fehoko, Velemi Fehoko Jr., with that knee issue, been out for about 4 or 5 weeks. Now he's going to be rotated back. Hopefully in the next 2 weeks, he may be on this team. He may not. The honest truth, he might not come back on this team. He might be out for the rest of the year. But at least he's getting some more work with the team, with the practices for next year, building on something, right? So Fehoko, he's back in that 20. He's got 3 weeks to try to get back on the 53-man roster. And then a guy from the practice squad, offensive lineman Billy Price, had a shoulder injury. He was been on IR for about 4 or 5 weeks as well. He's also now back on the 21-day window to get put back on the roster. If he goes back, he'll go back to the practice squad probably. And he'll probably get back there. If there's an open spot, he'll be sliding right back in there. Another offensive lineman to take basically some practice snaps for some of the linemen when they can't do it. But I will say this, Fehoko is on the 53-man roster. But remember, he has not had one game. He has not played one play this year. He's been on the basically redshirted this year, been on the inactive list every week. And again, like I said, Billy Price on the practice squad. So neither guy has seen a play wearing that star officially in an actual regular season game for the Cowboys this year. I believe Fehoko is a red shirt this year. He'll probably, be focusing on getting good for the end of this year, but really getting ready for next year. While Billy Price, well, again, practice squad player. Now, what about the injury report after practice? We knew Jonathan Hankins was going to be on this thing, and he was, guys. Jonathan Hankins with a knee and an ankle they have listed here did not practice. We knew this. Something to monitor with him, and he's not going to play. He's not expected to play this Week 15 game. So no Jonathan Hankins. He's out for this game, it looks like, for him. But you had other guys that had injuries here. You had Malik Hooker, number 28 at safety. He must have got banged up when we didn't see it, but he had injured. He didn't have him listed with an ankle right now, and he did not practice. But again, today was a walkthrough. It was probably going to be a rest day for him, although,
it obviously happened maybe towards the end of the game or something.
Yeah, it's definitely not just a rest for him. It's an ankle injury as well, so got to keep an eye on that. Got to monitor Malik Hooker's status this week. I would say Hankins, except he's out for this game. What about everybody else on our team? Limited practices. For Brandon Cooks, rest. For DeMarcus Lawrence, rest. Jordan Lewis, rest. Zach Martin, rest. Remember, we said we'll talk about seeing these guys on there like Brandon Cooks. He's getting rest with a limited practice. DeMarcus Lawrence, Zach Martin. We had talked about these guys getting banged up. They're all getting rest, not even injured, which is great news. You also had Micah Parsons on the list. He was limited because of the illness. Remember, he was sick with the flu. He still has some remnants of that, taking it easy for him on the limited list. The only other guy that was limited that has a minor injury is Rico Dowdle. But he came back in the game he played. It's an ankle injury, the same one he's had all year. So he's limited with an ankle injury, but I think he'll be managed like he always has been, and he'll be fine. Tyron Smith, don't worry on him. He did not practice today. He's getting arrested. He wasn't even limited. He just didn't practice.
Yeah. The
same old deal there with him. And again, Stephon Gilmore. He had a full day off today. He got full day of rest, Gilmore. So another guy that, they're just giving no injuries, just full rest days for them. And like I said, when it came to the guys that are full practice, Matt Willetsko, he's ready to go whenever they call him up off of the 21-day window. And same thing for Viliami Fehoko, the rookie, with a knee issue. Full practice for him today as well. So, Cowboys are slowly and surely trying to get these guys where they work through the 21-day window, redshirting them for the rest of the year. But mainly, everybody here is getting rest, guys. Everybody's getting rest except for Rico Dowdle with the ankle is being managed. Malik Hooker with the ankle, which, again, we're hoping that he's going to be okay with that, is a walkthrough today. And Jonathan Hankins, who was out, we know he's not going to play this game this week. So, again, I don't know if there's any questions or thoughts on this, but that's the injury report coming straight from the Cowboys side of things. The Bills had a little mini injury report go out as well. Micah Hyde, their main guy, I talked about the neck stinger for him, did not practice. So he's someone to watch. Their starting safety could be out with the neck stinger. They also had A.J. Espinoza, their edge rusher with the rib injury, did not practice today. They also had a walkthrough, by the way. Von Miller had a rest day, so nothing going on with him except for that domestic violence thing. But he did not practice today. He got a rest day. And when you had some limited guys, Dalton Kincaid, who was an injured player, tight end, has a thumb and shoulder injury, was limited in practice. Taron Johnson, cornerback with an ankle injury, also limited in practice. And then you had a bunch of guys in full practice. Josh Allen with his shoulder, full practice. Kair Elam, cornerback, he might get put back on this. I think he's back on the team, but he got injured in this last game. He had an ankle, full practice for him. Leonard Floyd, edge rusher, wrist injury. He's full for practice today in this walkthrough. Dawson Knox, the other tight end, wrist injury, full practice. And Justin Shorter, receiver, hamstring, also full practice for him today. Again, let me reiterate, the Bills had a simple walkthrough. Tomorrow we'll know more when the hitting day comes in for both us and the Bills when it comes to injuries. And again, any quick thoughts on any of these injuries or questions on this when it comes to...
Fuego Much Love saying, what's up with Curse? I heard he might have an injury. Yeah, so...
He was cleared on this list. No injury for him in this game. It's funny. No injury list for him. You know what I mean? So that's an interesting. That's a good question.
I'm guessing maybe it was just a cramp or something that happened on the field in the sense of, like, it was obviously something that happened that had him feeling banged up or hurt. Maybe he took a hit the wrong way or whatever, but to not end up on the injury report, it does make me think it was probably a cramp. Yeah. That's basically, like, the only thing, or, like, muscle tiredness, the same way that Jordan Lewis isn't going to show up there just because he got dehydrated during the game or whatever.
Right, he is getting a rest, but again, that's just a veteran day.
Yeah.
Now, another guy we forgot about, Donovan Wilson, who was getting flu-like symptoms after the game. He is not on this list either. So good to see both guys right now, knock on wood, no flu-like symptoms for, at least on the injury report, for Donovan Wilson. And of course, we were worried about J-Ron Curse and maybe him hurting himself. He's cleared, not showing up on the injury report. Great catch there. That's why we hit you guys up in the chat.
As Modius Much Love saying, pissing around with the one-tech position has the potential to come back and bite us in the ass.
It does. And I'm hoping Mozzie and Carl Davis and let's say Gallimore can get in there and get the job done. What does it take for the Cowboys to get in the playoffs this week, to clinch? It's actually very easy this time around, guys. Last week we needed 18 things to happen. But the Cowboys should be in the playoffs after this game against the Bills, one way or the other. And we should be clinched for the playoffs. Let me explain the different ways of clinching. If we win the game against Buffalo, we clinch. Mm-hmm. We clinch the playoffs. Officially in the playoffs.
Okay.
All we got to do is beat Buffalo. That's it. Now, let's say we don't even play yet. The Buccaneers lose. and the Lions win or tie, and the Niners win or tie, and by the way, all three things can very much happen, we also get in the playoffs, even if we lose. The Buccaneers lose, the Lions win, and the Rams lose, we also get in, even if the Niners win. So we get in pretty much any way. The Buccaneers, they lose, the Vikings lose, and the Lions win, we get in. And it keeps going down. I could keep going. If the Buccaneers tie and the Lions win or tie, we get in. Just saying, there's some crazy-ass fucking things that happen. We have about a million different ways we get into the playoffs. So you know what the easiest way is? Just win. If you win, you're in. I thought I made that clear. If you win, you're in the playoffs. So, again, for the Cowboys, a million things can happen for us to get in if we lose, but if we win, it's over. We're in the playoffs. And trust me, guys, we're going to be in the playoffs this year. If we don't, well, then we really don't deserve it. Let me put it that way. Now,
yeah.
We had Brandon Aubrey. Got to shout him out, by the way. We start with our special teams talk here before we get to the defense. And I say our defense versus their offense. So let me just quickly talk. Tomorrow we'll talk more special teams. But I have to talk about special teams now. You know why? I don't know if you know this.
I probably don't.
Brandon Aubrey was named Special Teams Player of the Week for Week 14. This is his second Player of the Week award. And he also has a Player of the Month award, Special Teams, for October. So
at this point, he's just going to get the Player of the Season
for
Special Teams, whatever
again,
the equivalent is.
This is the Cowboys' 9th Player of the Week of the month. I'm sorry, this is the 9th Player of the Week or 9th Player of the Month honor that we've gotten this year from our players. 9 of them already in about 3.5, 4 months, right? That's the most amongst any team in the entire NFL. We have the most Players of the Week. Mm-hmm. 9 for the season so far. And Aubrey, he had 15 points in this game. That's 2 more than the Eagles had complete total. He had 3 for 3 on point extra. On PATs. Point after touchdowns, and he had 4 for 4 on field goals, of course, hitting them from 60, 59, 45, and 50 yards. He's the first player in NFL history to make 2 field goals of 59 yards or longer in the same game. One of the reasons why he's making that special teams special teams player of the week. And a good question is, baby, how is he still missing extra points? Like, people are saying he's making so many of these field goals. How is he missing extra points? And we heard John Fossil's kind of comments on this. He's missed 3 extra points.
Yeah.
Here's the breakdown of all 3 of them. Fossil said that the first one against the Giants, it was the first time experiencing a sudden change, meaning after we scored on a punt, on a field goal block kick for a touchdown, they weren't ready to get out there, and so it was rushed. And according to Fossil, timing was off on that first extra point.
All right, valid.
The second extra point was all the way against Carolina, the Panthers, a couple weeks ago. Carolina called a timeout when he was first about to kick the field goal. And according to Fossil, his timing was off again. And the third time was against Washington, the Commanders, and the extra point. And according to Fossil, quote, he just towed it. He just missed it. So it's just a shank. 1 shank and 2 rushed kicks is why we had the 3 missed extra points.
So, and let me see. Fuego said, we have all these weapons. There isn't an option as to why we can't get in the playoffs. Agree.
Oh, yeah. No, we're in the playoffs.
Agree.
It should be an option where we can't make a real run at the Super Bowl. That's the truth. So, Aubrey, he missed only 3 kicks the whole year, 3 extra points. And that was the breakdown from
687.
Fossil.
He's not perfect. It's okay.
Yeah, exactly. But again, we want to know the reasoning why. That's the reasoning. 2 rushed ones and 1 shank. The thing is, the way you throw off Brandon Aubrey, if you really wanted to in a playoff game, call a timeout before he kicks. Ice him. Throw the timing off a little bit, especially before a half or before the game, end of the game. That could be a weapon used against Aubrey, because it seems like timing and getting him out of his routine is the biggest things that affect his kicks. So something to watch. By the way, I want to give you another record he may be chasing here. Touchback record. He's 5 away from breaking that or tying that. Percentage of touchbacks, he's about to break that and probably be second in all time, because the other guy this year is also going to break it in what's his name, Sly from Washington. But listen to this number. Aubrey trails Stroud, a kicker Stroud, in total points right now. I'm sorry, C.J. Stroud, not a punter.
Yeah.
He trails C.J. Stroud in total points. 138 points to 129. He's only trailing by 11 points to C.J. Stroud, a quarterback, right? But his points per snap is a huge advantage, 1.79 to 0.016. He's 4th in hang time on kickoffs, 1st in touchbacks, All right, he's got, again, pinned offenses pretty much deeply every single time on kickoffs, 95.5% of the time. He's more impactful than the Eagles' Jalen Carter as a rookie. So when you look at Stroud right now, who has he's like the best quarterback in the league right now statistically. He's 11 points back on a quarterback on points. When you look at the best rookies out there, Jalen Carter for the Eagles, he's more impactful than Jalen Carter has been. Do you think he should be the offensive rookie of the year and the defensive rookie of the year? I'm just making a point. Jalen Carter, when you look at him, he's a defensive leader. Stroud is the offensive rookie of the year leader.
Yep.
Where's Aubrey sit? Because he could be both offense and defense when you look at some of these numbers and how he's breaking some records. Two-time Super Bowl champion, Lawrence Tynes. I don't know if you know who that is, but he's a former Giants kicker. I'm pretty sure he kicked for the Giants. He said he's loving what he's seen from Brandon Aubrey. He said, quote,
hard not to, right?
He said, I think what he's doing is incredible. This is another kicker, an old school kicker here who knows how to win Super Bowls. He said, that what he's doing is incredible, but that he's carrying the burden of perfection. And that can hurt him in the playoffs. So he's suggesting that Aubrey should try to miss a field goal in the regular season. Here's what Lawrence Tynes said. I think he's I don't know if it's Giants, also a Chiefs guy. But anyways, he said this about field goals and maybe missing one upcoming for Brandon Aubrey. He said, quote, I have always said kicking in the NFL is not how many you make in a row. It's what you do after you miss one. I'd like to see him miss a field goal before entering the playoffs so he's not carrying all that pressure into postseason play. The pressure is real in the NFL playoffs. It goes up 10 times. So Aubrey's got to be more than just making a bunch of consistent field goals. He's got to be mentally ready for what's coming in the playoffs. So Lawrence Tynes said, hey, shank one. Look, I understand what he's saying, but Aubrey missed his first NFL kick. He's missed 2 other extra points. So he's missed a kick before, you know what I mean? He had a missed a kick, a PAT in prime time. He's missed 2 other ones after that. We're not sure how it affects him or not when it comes to kicking extra points, but obviously it doesn't affect him kicking field goals. So we'll see how it happens. I mean, I don't necessarily disagree with maybe missing one before the end of the year, but that pressure would be crazy in a regular season. We need him for the win. He hasn't missed that all the whole year, and all of a sudden, what's going to happen? What do you think happens usually when that shit happens? The pressure is huge. So listen to Lawrence Tynes and the advice. I'm not saying you should miss one on purpose, but, if we're up 35-10 in the fourth quarter and he kicks a field goal from 60 yards, yeah, maybe he should miss that one.
Maybe.
Just throwing it out there.
A consideration, right?
So when you look at, again, you look at special teams, you look at offense in this thing here, baby. First and foremost, as this game comes up, this Bills game, the Cowboys have drawn Fox's number 1 crew again. Kevin Burkhardt and Greg Olsen, along with Aaron Andrews and Tom Rinaldi, for this game against the Bills on Sunday. It's the 13th out of our 14 games this year that have gotten the number 1 broadcasting crew. And I'll go back. The only game we didn't get the number 1 broadcasting crew, we got the number 2 crew, was against the Cardinals week 3. That's it. Every other game, we've gotten the number 1 staff as far as calling these games. It's always been Cowboys, top crew. Cowboys also, when you look at our offense, listen to this real quick. I get a Dak and we'll go to defense and finish it up. But the Cowboys have scored when we're inside the red zone 71% of the time. All right? That's a big jump from when we started off. We've scored 71% of the times. I'm sorry, let me rephrase this. In the last 3 games. So in recent games, the last 3 weeks against Philly, Seattle, and Washington, the Cowboys, 71% of the time, 7 out of 10 times, we're scoring. We're scoring touchdowns in the red zone. That's the 6th best in the NFL. Now, tomorrow we'll talk about our Texas Coast versus the Bills defense, but the Bills defense has allowed the opponent to score inside the red zone 88% of the time in their last 3 games. That is the 3rd worst in the NFL. So you're looking at current trends. The Cowboys are scoring points in the red zone 70% of the time, 71%. And the Bills are allowing touchdowns in the red zone 88%, or scores in the red zone 88% of the time. We got to put the ball in the end zone. And of course, the receivers. We talk about Ferguson and other guys, but CeeDee Lamb right now, you look at top 5 receivers in the NFL when it comes to receiving yards. Tyreek Hill, 1,542 right now. A.J. Brown, unfortunately, he has passed CeeDee Lamb, 1,258, but CeeDee's 5 back on him, 1,253. And then 10 back on him is Keenan Allen. And way back is Puka Nacua at 5th. My point here is CeeDee Lamb in the middle of the 2nd, 3rd, 4th battle of overall receivers with Tyreek Hill kind of blowing everyone away. My point is when it comes to our offense, CeeDee Lamb got to be a big part of this game against the Bills. And we'll take a closer look at this tomorrow. But let me take a look at, really quickly, our quarterback. You guys talked about some trash talk today by another quarterback. But first, Madden respecting Dak Prescott. Today, Madden 24 said that they had their little checks in the house and they raised his power and they raised his sack ability to break sacks, and they bumped him up on that. Overall, I think it was at a 91. He's up to a 92 now on Madden. He got a week 14 boost from his last couple of weeks of play. He's now an overall 92, one of the best quarterbacks in Madden ratings. We put that as important as you need to. But let's look at some of the criticism. Not everyone's loving Dak. Cam Newton today, he claimed that Dolphins quarterback, Tua Tagovailoa and Tua, Dak Prescott, Jared Goff, and Brock Purdy are all game managers. That's what, again, all 4 of these quarterbacks, that's what Cam Newton called them. Now, he sounds like a whiny little bitch because he right now can't even be that. But he said, quote, these guys, they're game managers. They are not difference makers. So he's saying that Dak, Brock Purdy, Tua, and Jared Goff, but he's adding Dak in this. These guys are not difference makers. They're just game managers. I would like to know what you guys think about that. But when you look at Dak versus Brock Purdy, let's say those stats, Dak has completed the 2nd most air yards in the NFL. I think that was 2008 was the last time. And his receivers averaging about 4.8 yards per catch, which is the 5th lowest in the NFL. 4.8 yards per catch with a drop rate of 5.8, which is the 6th highest drop rate in the NFL. Our receivers are still dropping a lot of his passes. While Brock Purdy, he has 1,815 completed air yards, which is 5th best. Dak was 2nd best. Dak's averaging, 4.8 yards per, that's the 5th lowest. That's not that good. Well, he's averaging almost 6.9 yards. That's the highest in the NFL. And his drop rate is 1.7, which is the lowest in the NFL. My point here is Dak's average yak when it comes to air yards, he's not getting, Dak's getting the balls thrown in the air. He's getting them down the field. Brock Purdy is not. Brock Purdy is getting the residual kind of yak yards, 7 per. Dak's getting 4.5 per. And yet, the drops also a lot bigger for Dak than Brock Purdy. One of the best. Dak's had one of the worst receiver drops right now this year. 6th highest rate of drops. Purdy is the lowest in the NFL. So you can see why Purdy's numbers are even comparable to Dak's, because Dak is having a tougher time with extra, outside things. It's not his passing. Brock Purdy is truly a game manager, I think, in this way. Well, Dak is actually making things happen. The Cowboys have scored 279 points at home this year in our 7 games. That's more than these following teams have scored in total on the road or on the away. The Cowboys have scored more points at home than the Bears total numbers. The Vikings, the Buccaneers, Washington, Atlanta, Tennessee, the Cardinals, Patriots, the Giants, the Panthers, the Jets, the Raiders, and the Steelers. Yeah, you too, real shit. So the Cowboys have more points at home than all these teams have combined home and away. This offense is ready. It's getting better and better. If you take our first 6 games, this offense is at the bottom in the 20s. Now you're looking at us at the top as far as the offense. That's a lot to do with Dak, a lot to do with coaching. So, we'll talk about that and more here. Now, when it gets to the defense, and now when we look at the Bills game, we're going to kind of focus more on the defensive side of things. The Bills' offensive coordinator, Joe Brady, he's their OC now. Remember, he took over. He was at Penn State. I think he was GA there at Penn State when he first met Micah Parsons at a high school camp. This is what he said about Micah. Quote, he decided he wanted to play wide receiver for the camp, and he was the best wide receiver in the entire camp. Everything he's doing in the NFL does not surprise me at all. He's an absolute freak of an athlete. So, high praise from the OC of the Bills, the offensive coordinator, of course, on Micah Parsons. But, he better keep an eye on DeMarcus Lawrence. DeMarcus Lawrence's impact has been fantastic.
Yeah, he might not be having the world's flashiest season, but man, he is probably having, outside of those types of big stats, his best season in a while, DeMarcus Lawrence.
Yeah. I mean, he's definitely a top edge run stopper right now. And when you see, here's the impact of DeMarcus Lawrence. And he'll make the Pro Bowl again, I think, this year. He made it last year. Teams average only 3.5 yards per carry when Tank is on the field. When he's not in the field, they average 4.32. They average almost another yard on every play whenever Tank is not on the field. That 0.82 yards is a massive difference per play when he's not on that field. That almost full yard every play when Tank's not on the field makes a huge difference to the defense. And just so you guys know, when it comes to our defense, and I know we're focusing on we focus on our team the whole day, but when we focus on our defense, we got to talk about the Bills' offense. But Dan Quinn, when you look at the way we handle the Eagles, think about it. Go back to that game. Listen to what we said here live on stream. The Cowboys blitzed on 5 third or fourth down dropbacks against the Eagles in Week 11. There was a third. There's no 3rd and 1s and 2s here. 3rd and 5, we fucking blitzed, no yards. 3rd and 18, we blitzed, no yards on that play. 3rd and 6, we blitzed, no yards. 4th and 8, we blitzed. They got 1 yard. It came our ball. On a 3rd and 6, with the score 30-13, on 36, we blitzed, and it didn't make the first down. They got a first down there. They got 8 yards. But again, this is a blowout game. We were playing a different kind of defense. And we just kept blitzing on 3rd down because they were not being successful. How do you beat the Eagles? You stop them from 3rd and short, and you blitz them on 3rd down. That's the way you defensively go after the Eagles' offense. And Dan Quinn just showed everybody, hey, this is how you do it. Especially with the team as fast as we have. Now, one of the major components of this game is going to be how do we stop the Bills and their offense? Because again, let me put this up here. Because again, we have a couple major pieces that you see them on the actual thumbnail. We got to figure out how we're going to get these guys to affect the game and affect. This is Josh Allen's Bills drawing, by the way, in case you're wondering. That's the way he draws the Buffalo Bills logo. Josh Allen. No fucking joke. But there we are. And as you can see, Micah's confused about that drawing. Josh Allen and Stephon Diggs, these are the guys who got to really watch this game. And Micah, of course, is running things. So listen to this. Josh Allen, very capable quarterback right now in the NFL. Obviously makes a lot of mistakes throwing interceptions. But he is second in the NFL in passing touchdowns, just about 3 back on Dak. But his issues come in the form of turnovers. He leads the NFL for the 2nd year in a row. His offensive line is doing a pretty good job. I will say, we'll talk about them in a little bit. But they get a good job keeping pressure off of him. The coaches added to the group of pass catchers for Josh Allen. A couple of really good players here. We'll talk about them as well. But they've been, an average, stable average running game for them to try to help Josh Allen. But yet, Allen is still giving the ball away to the opposition more than any quarterback in the NFL this year. The last 2 years alone, Josh Allen has turned the ball over 36 times. That is a mind-blowing rate right there, guys. And he has to face a Cowboy defense that ranks 4th in interceptions and 5th in sacks. So again, Josh Allen is put very high on a pedestal. Because he has a cannon of an arm. And he has a great ability to scramble and run the ball. And you're going to take 2 or 3 guys to tackle Josh Allen sometimes. So, again, he's a very good running quarterback. He scored 10 rushing touchdowns this season already. That's the 3rd most in the NFL. But to help with this context of things, the Cowboy defense has just faced, we just faced a quarterback named Jalen Hurts last week, who had the most rushing touchdowns in the NFL, even more than Josh Allen. So, again, in that game, Jalen Hurts failed to score on the ground or throw a passing touchdown. I'm not saying we're going to go to Josh Allen, but I'm saying Josh Allen can be slowed down in the run game for him running, and we can definitely slow him down in his ability to throw the ball, though he has a cannon of an arm. Since Week 6, for example, Dak Prescott has thrown 23 touchdowns since Week 6 and 2 interceptions since then. Just insane numbers. That's why his MVP numbers. But Josh Allen, since the same time frame, since Week 6, has thrown 14 touchdowns. That's 9 less than Dak. And 9 interceptions. That's 7 more than Dak. Shit, Dak don't even have 7 interceptions. He has 6 interceptions total. So that shows you how Josh Allen can be slowed down in this game here. And their running back room, when it comes to running the ball for the Bills, they can be very hot or very cold. Their lead running back is James Cook. He has only scored 1 rushing touchdown, and he's only had 2 games where he's actually went over 100 yards rushing. So we cannot let this team establish any kind of run on our defense, even though we don't have Jonathan Hankins. The thing is, though, he's averaging almost 5 yards, 4.8 yards per carry, and he does have dual threat capabilities because he is a receiving running back as well. He can catch that ball. And really, that's where he excels at, is catching the ball. He has nearly 400 yards receiving, James Cook, and has scored 3. He has 1 rushing touchdown, but he has 3 receiving touchdowns. So, not running back, yes, but he's really a receiving back, so to speak. So, again, defending the Cowboys, stopping the run with Cook, James Cook, is one aspect they have to stop. But also, the receiving portion is a major aspect we have to stop when it comes to James Cook as the running back, catching the ball in the backfield. Defending him on both sides of both of those kind of ways, running and receiving, is going to be key for the Cowboy defense. They also have Latavius Murray, who is not the guy he once was, formerly at UCF and, of course, the Raiders. When he was playing with the Raiders, he was doing great, but he's a shell himself now. So, as with all running backs, they get a heavy workload, and each season progresses, the wear and tear on them is noticeable. Latavius Murray, he's averaging only 4 yards per carry, and he's rushed for only 289 yards this year. And both of those numbers right there, 4 yards average and 289, are both worse than Tony Pollard and Rico Dowdle. So, Dowdle has more rushing yards than Latavius Murray. So, just saying right now, our running back duo is a bigger threat than their duo. But they do have some weapons there too, specifically with James Cook. When it comes to our Cowboy running backs, we ain't doing great, but we scored 9 total rushing touchdowns. The Bills duo have 7, but that's also counting the passes as well, the receiving touchdowns. The Bills are also outproducing when you compare them in rushing game here, Cowboys rushing game. The Bills have more rushing yards than the Cowboys this season. And in the last 3 games, the last 3 weeks, the Bills have averaged 140 rushing yards per game, while, when you look at the kind of the cherry on top for them, the number of first downs the Bills have made from the ground game this year is the second most. They even have more than San Francisco. So what I'm trying to say here is their run game is not necessarily more effective or efficient than ours, for example. But the last 3 weeks, they've been getting 140 yards on the ground. So they're going to try to establish the run. And the number of first downs they've made running the ball is second best in the NFL. So they get their first downs by running the ball on those third down conversions. That's how they get them. So, it's something we have to keep an eye on against their run game in this game. But again, defending the pass is going to be major. And who's one of their main targets, if not their main target, receiving the ball? Trayvon Diggs' older brother, Stephon Diggs. He's aired his frustration in the Bills' offense a few times in the recent past, but he still managed to pile up a lot of production, almost 1,000 yards. He scored 8 touchdowns this year already, which is the same amount as CeeDee Lamb. Receiving yards about 300 less than CeeDee Lamb. He currently has 993, which is 12th among all receivers. He also has 335 yak yards, 335 yards after the catch, which is very low. That ranks him 30th in the NFL when it comes to yak yards for Stephon Diggs. Most of his frustration, though, comes in the form of really the last 3 weeks, where he's only totaled 1 touchdown for Stephon Diggs. Now, Gabe Davis, he's the team's second leading receiver. He's a huge target for the Bills' offense. He's a fantastic deep threat option for Josh Allen, and he has shown good ability to kind of, run through his routes and really get defensive backs second guessing. So Gabe Davis, you cannot forget about him. You got to remember, guys, he's very big. He's 6'3", huge reach. He scored 6 touchdowns this year, which puts him on pace to have a career scoring season for him. And the battle between him and DaRon Bland is going to be a big one this week, because you're going to probably have Stephon Gilmore on number 14 there. Instead of Trayvon Diggs, it's going to be Stephon Gilmore trying to lock down Stephon Diggs. So it's Stephon versus Stephon. But DaRon Bland is going to go up against a bigger guy this week. At least that's what it seems like. A 6'3" Gabe Davis. So that's going to be exciting to keep an eye on. Khalil Shakir, the newest entry in the Bills receiving corps. He was drafted in 2022 out of Boise State, but Shakur, he's a blue-collar type player. He's versatile in a lot of different ways, but he plays mostly from the slot because of his length. He cuts and breaks, and he does a great job. He's sharp, and he has good hands. So, again, when it comes to the second and third receivers, you look at our number ones, yeah, CeeDee is better than Stephon Diggs, but when you look at the number 2s and 3s, Gabe Davis and Khalil Shakir, both these guys are actually more productive right now than Michael Gallup and Brandon Cooks are for the Cowboys, as an example. And that means they're outproduced. The number 2 and 3 receivers for the Bills are outproducing Gallup and Cooks when it comes to yards and when it comes to touchdowns. So, do we have to do a better job? Yeah, on offense. But what about slowing down these weapons they have? Because, baby, Stephon Gilmore spoke today. And he kind of said, what he's going to have to do, what he did in this Eagle game, what he's going to do, going forward, and what the expectations are going to be in this game against the Buffalo Bills. Now, I just talked about Josh Allen. I talked about the receivers here. I mean, we have Dalton Kincaid, who's also on the practice report, who's banged up, but he should play. He's dealing with a shoulder injury, day-to-day injury. Kincaid had a solid rookie year as a tight end. They got a lot of weapons out there, and he's continued his production the way he kind of did things in Utah. He's doing the same things in the NFL. He's third on the team in receiving yards, and among tight ends, he ranks 13th in the NFL. For a rookie tight end, that's a great start. So you heard about the weapons. Kincaid, if he plays. Diggs, Gabe Davis. These guys are not to be messed around with. Talked about the run game, but mainly in the coverage side of things, baby, it's about Stephon Gilmore. And he's going to have to really put the shutdown on these receivers, specifically Stephon Diggs. So what did Mr. Gilly Lock, Stephon Gilmore, what did he have to say about this matchup and how he feels going into this game after that Philly game?
He said they, as in the Buffalo, right, have a great fan base, one of the best fan bases in the league. I've had some great games there. It's a great organization.
No, he's played with the Patriots. He saw a lot of Buffalo with the Patriots, right? And the Colts a little bit, I guess, but mainly with the Patriots, he saw a lot of Buffalo.
He also added in there, you just never know there. Just have to be ready for whatever element that comes. So, thankfully it's not the elements.
Well, again, I'm hearing now it's going to be rainy in this game. And I'm going to just wait till we get closer before we really do anything like this. Like, say it's going to be this weather or that weather, but it could be rainy, 45 degrees. It could slow down both offenses, which to me would hurt the Cowboys more. Because we need to have that pass game going.
Agreed. So, outside of that, Gilmore obviously was kind of asked, like, hey, is Trayvon going to help us out, give us the inside scoop? Pretty much the same question they've asked now for the last 2-3 days, right? He said he knows him a lot. We talked about it a little bit during training camp. I'm going to go through my normal process and study him and hope to play well against him. So, again, he's not just going to copy off of whatever Trayvon tells him.
Yeah, what Trayvon Diggs is, I'm sure he'll use it to help him and watch the film and all that stuff, but he knows how to take on Stephon Diggs.
He even gave Josh Allen some love, saying, quote, Josh Allen's a great quarterback. He can throw the ball, he's got a strong arm, and he can run the ball. Plus, he's got good receivers. I think it'll be a strong challenge for us, but I think we're ready. So, and of course, kind of reminiscing a little bit, because he did admit that being called old man, he said, I was just trying to prove myself. That's really what it was. It was a little bit of fire in me trying to prove myself. I wasn't talking trash. I was just being physical and talking with my play. He
was hyped, and he just said, let me show him how old I am. And then ended up, dominating A.J. Brown that game.
Exactly. He said, you have to prove yourself every year. You could have played great last year, but this is a new year. So you have to go out there and do it all over again.
Love what Gilmore is saying. And again, the lockdown is going to be major in this game. The Gilly Lock got to be producing and stopping those Gabe Davises, those Stephon Diggses. So to finish up, the last thing really is the offensive line. That's going to be the key here for the Bills to kind of hold it together if they want to have a chance against our defense. The Bills' offensive line right now, very efficient and maybe even better in pass protection than the Cowboys' offensive line. The Bills' offensive line has given up more pressures than the Cowboys this season, but it has given up less sacks. Some of that really comes down to Josh Allen's elusiveness to escape the pressure. But the offensive line has really done its part to keep the pass rush away from him. They've done a great job. But ironically, the starting lineman to allow the fewest pressures on this Bills offensive line is former Cowboy Connor McGovern. They're loving him there. Pass protection, the least pressures on this Bills offense is being done by Connor McGovern. Now, the player with the most pressures right now allowed to me is a very important guy to kind of keep an eye on. A guy we should have drafted maybe over Schoonmaker, rookie Osiris Torrance. Now, he's given up the most pressure, so we attack him, of course, at the left guard spot. But he's been pretty good, though, playing very well as a starter. And they're still over, even the weakest link, they still have Osiris Torrance still doing a great job, especially for a rookie. So the biggest difference between the Cowboys offensive line and the it's like, for example, so you guys can see the difference between our offensive line, what we do well, and what they do well in their offensive line. Obviously, they're fantastic at pass protection, but they're not that good at run blocking, guys. That's where they differ. We're fantastic at blocking on the ground. Cowboys win when it comes to run blocking, but these guys, they're very good. They win in pass protection when you compare them to us and our offensive line, but when it comes to the run blocking, they fail in a major way. The Bills' run blocking is extremely less effective than the Cowboys currently are at blocking on the ground, run blocking. The middle of the line, the middle of the offensive line for the Bills, center guards, that's where you take advantage of really blowing up some of the runs, and that's hopefully where Mozzie Smith and Carl Davis and Gallimore can maybe show up. Even though it's they're backups and third stringers and kind of moving in, they're hybrid players. The Bills don't have a very good run blocking interior, so that's where we need those the defensive techs, the 1 techs, the 3 techs, the defensive tackles to step up this week and really make it difficult for them to run and maybe pass protection somehow get back there and cause some damage. I'm hoping. So, on that note, my family and friends, that's going to be a night here on an early quickie. MCF, again, not after dark, not tonight. But appreciate everybody here with us here, dropping your knowledge, dropping your thumbs up and your likes. Of course, those that drop the love from above, let me shout them out as we sit here and wrap it up for tonight. I'll hit the comments in the chat real quick. But much love to NDN Boogie, Marissa Sparkle, both in the memberships. Same thing with Darren Posey in that Navy Blue crew. Mr. NDN Boogie, Navy Blue, Marissa in the star level for that raffle this weekend. Jason Renfro dropping a couple cash apps. Gloria, the leader in the cash app right now. Dwayne Brassard with a pre-stream top dog $2 holler. Mr. Lavelle with that $10 holler taking the overall lead. And Skeptical Fan right behind everyone in second place, I guess. He's really in fourth place, technically. First off, when you look at the sponsor of the week, is none other than the man, Jason Renfro. Much love to Jason Renfro, who is also the membership gifting champion, the king of the gifting board. So much love to him on that side, on the sponsor of the week side and the gifting side. And of course, much love to the Cash App King, Stanley Smith. He's repping it there with the crown. Marco Seppian still holding it down with a Mozzie Smith, 58 points. That's a guy we need big play from this weekend without Hankins there. So those are the 4 guys running the show. Of course, Mr. Marco Seppian from Hawaii, repping that star of everything. He's going to, of course, still hold down that stream boss. But who's in the lead when it comes to the gifting board? Well, right now, by 1, it is the man who is also tied in first place on the overall board, Bootzilla, gifting membership leader with Skeptical Fan 1 behind him. Bootzilla, the overall leader on the board, tied with Marissa Sparkle and Mr. A. Lavelle. And then the leader in the Cash App is none other than Gloria. Gloria, da-da-da-da-da-da-da. Much love to Gloria in the house. Appreciate you. She's currently the Cash App leader with that Tolbert drop in there. And everybody else, truly appreciate you all who dropped in here, left your comments, your thoughts. Hit the like, hit the thumbs up, the notification bell. Of course, subscribe to the channel if you're new. We're at 28.5 thousand family members. We're 1,500 family members away from 30K. Woo, baby. You know how it is here in MCF. We celebrating that when we hit that. Guys, thank you for your information, your thoughts. Let me hit the chat up here real quick and do some shout-outs, starting way back with the wife. Of course, is in the house. Mike Aldana, Daniel Berry Sports Highlights, Scorpio, Fuego El Fuego here in the house. We talked about the injury with Curse, Asmodeus, Brandon James. I was going to say Nightbot. But we got Darren Posey who's in the membership. Scorpio 6'8", Lost in Translation podcast. Jason Renfro got to step up, Mozzie, right? El Fuego, Scorpio, Asmodeus 6'8". Who else? Griff 181. We got Nightbot again. Pioneer here with us. Cam talking shit. Yeah, I know. He's an idiot. Grimbot, what is up, brother? Been a while. Appreciate you to have back in the house. Best season for number 90, says Grimbot. He's had 2 good seasons back-to-back. Let's be honest, right? The Cowboys' number 1 fan in the house, Demetrius Alexander. He's saying 42-13 Cowboys over Bills. What's up, Cowboys fan number 1? Scorpio, Mr. Renfro. We got the emojis dropped by Mr. Renfro. Jeff Coughlin in the house. Bills game is going to be tough. That it will be. But I think the Cowboys can hang. And Antoine Scott representing Bills Mafia. Much love to you, man. Good luck for this game. We cannot wait for it either. It's a big one. You guys are desperate, and we are riding the right trajectory right now. Alice 28-33-3, right? 28 Alice 33-3. Thank you. The wife had to dip out here about 5 minutes ago. Sorry about that, guys, but she's not feeling well. So she's out early. She had some naps today too. Was trying to get through the stream. Picking it up here, taking it to the finish line for her. Big D in the place to be, Mr. Lara. Much love. He said, "Go Cowboys." Let me see. Brandon James, Scorpio, rated 5 stars. Hello and go Cowboys. Appreciate you. Rated 5 stars. He's part of the family, and also appreciate. I see here, and there it is, Miss Alice in the house. 28 Alice 333 dropping that 1-2. J. Lou holler right there. As we're about to say goodnight for the night here. Appreciate you, Alice, again for the drops. I know she dropped a little bit earlier the other day. She dropped again now, adding to everybody's official support for the channel on this here night of December, you'll say 13th to the 14th, depending on the time zone you're in, the switch over. Appreciate all the well wishes, guys. I see some of the predictions of the game, like 35-12, and I read some of the other ones there. Lost in Translation saying that. Welcome to the family, rated 5 stars per Scorpio per us. Thank you. Appreciate you all. But yeah, we will give our predictions probably Saturday night. Our bold predictions, our score predictions. We usually do that on Saturday. Friday or Saturday, we come up with that. Tomorrow we'll be flipping it around. We're talking about our Texas Coast defense against the Little D of the Buffalo Bills, and the good, bad, and ugly from them and their players. We'll get you some matchups, some must-win, keys to victory on Friday and Saturday with our predictions, and that's the way we roll up until game day. On again, Sunday, 4:30 p.m. Eastern. I say 4 p.m. Eastern, 3 p.m. Central, and on and on. We'll be here with the cameras on, the lights on, the action on, as we play-by-play watch party. We do this every single game. The wife and myself here with you guys, cheer on our Cowboys, try to win another one. Keep this thing going, right? So appreciate you guys, everybody here at the house. Jason Renfro, wife, she went to sleep. She had to dip out of here literally like 10 minutes ago. Lost in Translation, appreciate you, man. Alice likes MCF After Dark, which again, I don't really do that too often. I've been doing it too much, really. I'm running out of time using there. I have to use another email to get that going again. But I'll try to take a little break here and there. But yeah, we'll do the After Dark thing every so often, every couple of days, or at least 2-3 times a week, maybe sometimes 4, maybe more. We'll see. Another channel rated 5 stars. You gotta go find that on your own. Just if you search MCF After Dark, you'll find it. And it's only live streams that I delete immediately, so you got to be there. You can't see it anymore once the stream's over. Yeah, just anything after our show here, our regular Cowboy show. When we go over there, we talk about a lot of other things, a lot more people there on panel discussions, and a lot of fun and craziness. Hence why it's called After Dark, and hence why I delete those streams immediately, so no one can even complain, because once the stream is over, it's literally gone from existence. So you can say and think and express yourself how you want there. Even though we don't talk Cowboys all the time. That's why it's MCF After Dark. This is my Cowboys family. And this is where we talk our Cowboy football. Appreciate everybody again. Don't forget to hit the like, sub it up, and that whole good stuff, the whole good thing here. We'll be back tomorrow with another one. As I shout everybody out, shout out everybody on the boards. Appreciate everybody here with us tonight. Never forget why we do this. Here on this channel on YouTube each and every night for the last 6+ years. Every night. Off-season, post-season, Super Bowl, Cowboys, over everything here. It's about that navy blue. That silver, too, as you see us repping it. those stars. That's star over everything. Win, lose, or draw, good, bad, or ugly. Here on this channel, we rep that star over everything. And here on My Cowboys Family for 6 years in a row and beyond. Plus, and 7 seasons of doing our game day reaction live streams. Never forget the number one thing here, now and forever. As always, you know it, Asmodeus. Your Cowboys! Much love to all. We'll see you back here tomorrow for another one. Thank you all for dropping your thoughts, your knowledge in the chat all night long. Rated 5 stars. You got to be around for this thing. It's a nightly thing here at MCF. Glad you found us. Welcome to the family. Again, Alice making jokes out there. Guys, again, thank you for your drops of knowledge in the chat. We appreciate it. Of course, humbled by your drops of support, your drops of love from above, whether it's membership, gifting memberships, Cash App, whatever it is, super chats, thanks buttons, gifting membership. Guys, can't tell you how much you guys are so special to this channel and make this thing go round and round every single day and night here on YouTube, right here, My Cowboys Family. And, of course, it is time to shut it down, clock out, and drop out of here for the night as we relock and reload for another show tomorrow. The Texas offense, the Texas Coast offense against the defense of the Bills. That's what we'll be focusing in on tomorrow. So join us for that. Same place, same time. You know, about midnight, 12:30 Eastern time is when we kick it off after everyone's asleep here. Just the wife and I doing a little fireside Cowboys chat with the family every night here on YouTube, right here on My Cowboys Family. So, guys, thank you for that. We're dropping out for the night. But before we can officially get it out of here and drop out of here for the night, as the wife always says, we got to drop the beat. Oh, yeah. That beat's been dropped. It's a wrap right here on My Cowboys Family. I appreciate you all repping that navy blue, silver, and star with us here in the chat on the nightly. And it is a wrap here on our side. A wrap on a Cowboys chat. And today, like I said, that's going to be the colors that will be worn. We're going to wear our whites. They're wearing their blues. And we're going to make them feel blue, hopefully, after this game, as we're in disbelief at Josh Allen's drawing of a Buffalo Bill. There you go. Right there. Micah, he's like, what the hell? Anyways, guys, appreciate you all. As you can see, our defense, their offense, that's what we discussed. And we'll be discussing that a lot more in the matchup section Friday and Saturday and even game day. Here, it's about that navy blue. Here at MCF, it's always about that navy blue, that silver too. That star over everything. Never, ever forget the number one thing right here on My Cowboys Family. Much love to everyone in the house, even the haters in the back. Make sure you guys do not forget to hit that like button for the stream. It helps us out. Share it out to everybody on your channels. Make sure you subscribe to the channel and keep it growing. Hit that notification bell to all videos so you know when we're going live on the nightly. Also follow us on X or any social media at My Cowboys Family. Jump in that Discord. We post there as well so you know when we're going live. And hey, everybody, have a great night. Stay safe. We'll see you back here tomorrow. Peace. And oh yeah, never ever forget, Go Cowboys!